Why am I out here today? Because they're buying an engine. Yep. We'll see what this is going to go in. We'll see. I don't know yet, actually. I'm just buying it for a future project. All right. We could be working on any of this stuff, but instead, pull the engine out of here. I stopped to take film because it's not that exciting pulling it out of the bed. But, funny story about this engine hoist. This was back in the days of the RX-4. Shane Lonkert and I bought this engine hoist for the sole purpose of putting a 13B into an RX-4 to go race it in Florida. One of the best experiences of my life. If I could find some videos of it, you'll see them in this video because I'll post them right here. Click, 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 click.
And that, folks, is a blown clutch. Damn.
Click, 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 click. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I hope I found some. For all those naysayers, yes, you can lift an engine up by a seat belt. I'm using the same sketchy seat belt they had tied to it. It's a little sketchy. What's the deal with this motor? This is a 1998 Explorer motor, which is cool. It's the last of the 5.0s, old 5.0 small blocks. It's actually got GT40P heads, which flow just like GT40s, except for the plugs come straight out, more so than a stock head. As well, this motor identifies as a carbureted motor. So I have, while it came with an automatic, I have collected a T5, a bell housing, plates, torque or two, manifold, carburetor, you name it. I think I have enough stuff to build a cool package out of here. I even got Shane's donation, which is little engine standy mount things. So we'll get to cleaning at some point and put all this together. So much simpler. Fuel injection, so overrated. Oh, let me see. All right. So that's how simple that should be. And we'll put one of those guys on there, clean it up. Look, it looks old school again. I'm gonna figure out what to do. So, bad news, good news. We'll get the fan off. I'm not sure what to do with the bracketry in this power steering pump because we'll just see. We'll leave them. And then this has a distributor pickup instead of the distributor, so we gotta pop that out. And worse is, if I lift this back up, both of those bolts freaking snapped off. Oh my lord. That there is our weight reduction program. Looks pretty good, except for those broken bolts. How much did we take off of this thing? About that much stuff. Entire wheelbarrow full. Broken bolts on an angle are tougher. Normally I'd weld a washer, but in this case I built the weld up on the tip, then put a nut on there, and then built the weld up around there. We'll wiggle it back and forth, and we'll just keep doing it. It's probably going to break off a few times, but sooner or later it'll probably come out. Oh! It's moving! Oh my... Just careful. Alright, I think this is going to come out. Is an hour and a half well spent. But it's out. There we go. Save the hole. Carry on. Test fit in the headers. Everything looks pretty good. This guy's a little bit tight. It's going to be hard to get on there. Probably 90-degree boot. And on this side, not too shabby. That I tore the boot off. That'll come off. All right, I do laugh every time I see these things, but I have to hand it to them. These are actually fairly big port size. Now, they do narrow up as they get into the casting, but if you look at this is a stock Mustang port, and that is what came with my headers, which matches these guys. Way bigger. Very curious for you 5.0 guys. Shout out to Ron. You know who you are. Thanks, man. Who knew we were going to use 75 to 82 Corvette plug wires on our 302? I figure I should. This is really how it looks. Sometimes you are working on things and you just kind of spread out and just try to get it done. So we are working through parts from multiple directions. We got plugs going in, matching them up to the headers. We've got transmission sorted. Trying to get the shifter in, clean up this intake manifold, still put that on. Shane's got some valve covers he wants to give me with some wires. We got to get all this stuff cleaned up, and then on top of that, my dad's coming, so we got to get the 41 out. This episode brought to you by Random Trivia. GT40P heads are different than old small block Ford heads. This is an old Ford. This is a GT40P head, which happens to be the same as 4.6 liter. I know because I stole them out of my 4.6 liter. $50 Craigslist intake manifold, a little bit of elbow grease, and probably a quarter of a can of high temperature paint. I paint them aluminum. It washes off nice rather than the bare aluminum. And yeah, super happy with the finish. We'll get this bolted on. Headers on, starter in, Shane's super cool valve covers that he custom painted. Check that out. Put on there. Gonna clean out the valley, or I should say razor blade all this stuff off. We'll clean it with lacquer thinner. Set the intake manifold on, and we'll get to the front. Alright, for you exhaust builders out there, if you've got little shorty headers with this kind of flange, I really like these. They're made by Walker Exhaust. 41726 is from this flange to 2.5 inch back. They just work really good, and if you look for them, you can sometimes find them for $7 or $8 a side, and they come with this nice super thick flange. There you go. Looking pretty sharp. We're going to pull out this distributor sensor and put an actual distributor in. To do that, we're going to pull it. We're going to use this mark. We will pull out spark plug number 1 and rotate it around so we have compression on cylinder number 1, and we know where top dead center is. And then that we'll use so we know roughly where cylinder number 1 is for the spark plug wires, and we'll be good to go, I hope. Alright, I'm going to admit that I'm a little concerned. I like pulling things out and measuring them up, and what worries me is the length of that shaft coming out the bottom, and that maybe we won't get engagement with the oil pump with this aftermarket distributor. Lovely. So way down in there is the guy that we need to engage with. There's a little hex shaft, and yeah, we got to check the depth of that. All right, distributor's in. Things to do while you're doing this: always mark your timing marks, man. It took me a while to find these. They were really faint, so I labeled them nice. I wish I had some white paint pen. The other thing is, if you're using a Chevy top distributor like this, it's super tight. You got to find the right fitting that'll fit, and even then, things like this connector or this is going to limit how much you can get out of your advance, so you've got to kind of pick your position carefully. But she's in, onward, upward. So I'm using leftover parts to build all of this, and I have this wire set, thanks Ron, but man, none of the wires are even remotely the right length. It just makes me want to throw up a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. I gotta fix this at some point. Dipstick goes in the side of the block there, so normally it came up around here. I wanted it to clear the headers completely, so I actually rebent it and brought it up and then mounted it to the rear header bolt. So I think that looks pretty slick. And it's out of the way. I can pull the exhaust off without messing with it. For the record, I broke this off. I accidentally pushed it down in the hole, so I drilled a little hole in there, got a screw into it, and actually pulled it back out. How's that for a big brain moment? Ha! As luck would have it, these are MSD blastery something super coils, and I found this bag of stuff. Half of that stuff is an exact match, so I guess I'm gonna clean up the wires, try to make them look pretty. Alright, that's how she turns out. Custom wires with all my little spare bits here. Cut a bunch of them to length so it doesn't look like a rat's nest. Pretty sharp. Onward, upward. Let's see what happens. Ignition. That thing fired up fast. I love it. I'm doing it again. Oops, too much. Let's go. All right. Oh, yeah. She's going to be a runner. All right. Well, there you go. All the spare parts I've been collecting for a long time, random stuff all together. Explorer 5.0, Old Holly, bunch of parts from Shane, bunch parts from eBay. What should we put it in? I don't know. Yeah, fired up nice though. Next time on Make Last Garage.